start here. Two boys, aged 5 and 6, have been mutilated and killed in Soweto. Their bodies found earlier today in White City and Rockville, reported missing last night. Now, when their bodies were found in separate locations, it is clear that body parts were missing. eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu joins me now. Manqoba, this is an utterly horrific story. What can you tell us?
Well, so what we understand is that the two boys had been playing just a few meters away from their houses yesterday afternoon, and this is when they were then reported missing. In fact, we understand that the parents had gone to look for them, and they were not able to find them. They then went to police to report that they were missing, and this is when a missing persons case was opened with police. We understand that a search had then ensued to try and find these boys. At the time, so we understand that there were 3 of them that had gone missing. One of them had then come back to his home, and we understand that he was given a hiding by his parents, and at the time he did not say anything about what had happened, but upon asking him what had really happened, they then found out that he had been kidnapped with the 2 other boys that had gone missing, and he told them that they had been lured into a white vehicle by some of the men that were known at the time, and that's where they were tied up, but he managed to escape, and unfortunately for the 2 other boys, they were not lucky. They did not escape, and the search then continued well into the night. We understand that it's up until 3 o'clock when the parents had then given up. They'd gone back to their homes, and they got a call around about 4:30 in the morning from police to say that they had found 2 bodies, and these bodies were found at separate places. One was found in White City, just between the 2 schools, the high school and the primary school in that area, and that's the body of 6-year-old Sia Mondlovu, who was found mutilated with some of his body parts missing. And of course, the other body was found in Rockville, Sally, which is about a few kilometers away from White City, and that body was found also mutilated, and it's believed that they were dumped in those areas by whoever had taken them. And of course, the parents are still devastated, Sally, about these incidents, and the community members are outraged about the incidents. And there are fears, Sally, that there might be a serial killer on the loose, given the fact that these boys were kidnapped right outside of their homes. There are also fears that there is a possible killings that are taking place in this community, given the fact that they were mutilated when these bodies were found. And the police saying that they've now roped in their occult unit to look into this, and they're not ruling out the possibility that indeed these murders could be multi-related. We also understand that they've activated a team that is going to investigate this particular issue. But sadly, the community is still reeling from the scenes that we saw earlier on. 2 scenes of young lives taken, and quite devastated and fearing for the safety of their children. But the police earlier on spoke to us about their investigation, and this is what they had to say.
Related investigators to come up with the motive for the killing.
And there are some that are saying that they fear that this is possibly the work of a serial killer. Is this something that you're also looking into?
Not necessarily like right now. Remember, investigations are starting right now, and at this stage we only have these 2 incidents, which is 1 incident with 2 kids that have been involved, that were reported, like I said, last night. Immediately as soon as they were reported missing, the SAPS mobilized all resources to ensure that these kids, the search for them starts with our search and rescue, as well as community patrollers and members of the community and members of the SAPS.
You've also, of course, been speaking to the community. Is this a dangerous area, particularly dangerous area? I mean, I suppose many parts of South Africa are dangerous, but is this a particularly dangerous area? Is this the sort of thing that the community is completely shocked to see, or something that they're not too surprised by?
Well, what community members are telling us is that this is not the first time that such an incident has occurred. They relayed a story of a young woman that was also kidnapped last year, and she was also found mutilated, and some of her body parts had been missing at the time. And the community is saying that they're quite shocked about these incidents. They are accusing police here of not doing enough to curb crime in this community. In fact, there was even an uproar when the police were there, with some of the community members shouting at the police, saying that the Moroka police station is not helping this community as far as responding to crime is concerned. But many of the residents saying that they now live in fear, Sally, and they're even scared for their little children to play outside, because they're not sure whether this is the work of a serial killer that is out here targeting young children. And also some of the community members saying that they'll want to see some sort of action. They'll want to see the top police brass also intervening in this issue. They're saying that usually this is not quite a crime-ridden area. There is crime here and there, but they certainly didn't expect the scenes that they saw this morning, rather, of young lives being cut short, the bodies being brutally mutilated, and community members, of course, at this particular point, hoping that the police will be able to make an arrest. We also spoke to the family members who are saying that they're quite devastated. One of the mothers was telling us that, in fact, she didn't have a chance to even say goodbye to her child. She didn't see her child. She only heard after it had gone missing that the child had, in fact, been kidnapped, and she's quite heartbroken. The families are quite heartbroken. They are still looking for answers and hoping that somebody will be arrested for these crimes that are going to, or for these crimes that have happened in this community. So it's quite, a community that has been shattered, Sally, a community that has been, looking for answers and hoping that there will be some sort of intervention as far as the kidnapping and murder of children is concerned. And of course they are looking at police to be able to solve these crimes. But earlier on I also spoke to one of the family members as well as community members about this issue, and this is what they had to say.
Mina ngifila bad yazi nje angazi or angry or njani, so yazi ngilahlekelwe kakhulu umzukulu wami lo, umntwana firstborn yami emfana ubaba wakhe washona 2020. So nje bokumntwana bese sengisikhontsola ngaye, ayikho sharp nje kahle. I'm not okay.
Asisizwa ngathi njengomphakathi, this is too much. We can't do it sithumela abantwana esikolweni at the end sithola abantwana sebashonile kanjani. We are tired, sikhathele yilabantu abenza into ezingcolile. Hayi right into ezalanga, hayi right. Bana ba babanyane re lebeletse re ba re sebeletse ka usane. Ho seng re thola bana ba hlokaetse, bana ba bolawa. How can motho o moholo a etse ntho so mo ngwaneng o monyane? Pain eo ya ngwana ha alla mo yena ering. Yeah, it's too much. Tshantse re meng ka maoto re lwanele Moroka aba etse nix. Re kgathetse ke Moroka maponisa ko Moroka. Ntho ba itsebang ba dira le batho ba di drugs. Ya di drugs ba irata. Ya bana ba bolawang ba kae?
Yeah, it's too much indeed. What an absolutely horrific story. Thanks so much for bringing us up to speed. Something has to be done. Let's hope the culprits are found quickly. eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu coming to us live from Soweto. Let's now move